Euromaxx highlights. Coming up in today's show, Eternal Rainbow, artist Olafur Eliasson's stunning new work in Denmark. Fast track to fame, internet product tester Sami Slimani, it's the big time. And future styles, we visit up-and-coming fashion designers in Paris. This is Euromaxx Highlights, and here's your host, Karin Helmstedt.
Hi there, and welcome to our Highlights edition. Natural phenomena are inspiring for their unpredictability and for the fact that they can't be tamed or limited. A Danish-Icelandic artist, Olafur Eliasson, is best known for his large-scale installations, most often inspired by the nature he grew up with. Well, he's now based right here in Berlin, but his latest project is back in Denmark, where he's recreated a natural spectacle that normally has a lifespan of just a few minutes.
The Danish city of Aarhus is probably the only place in the world with a permanent rainbow. Here, on the rooftop of the local art museum. It's both architecture and a work of art. Entitled Your Rainbow Panorama, it's a creation by the Danish-Icelandic light artist Olafur Eliasson. He's known the world over for his works that create optical illusions that sometimes even confuse the artist himself.
Up to the opening today, the inauguration, I have been so obsessed with the practicalities that I have almost become blind. Certainly I've become colorblind, that's for sure, but I've just also, in a way, become numb. And then when the first people start to come in, I can somehow look over their shoulders and I'm looking for what do they see. And I go, oh, now I can see again. And so today it's a chance for me to regain vision and to somehow see, why did I start this in the first place?
The Aarhus Art Museum is one of the best known in Scandinavia. Now it has an added attraction with the 50-metre high rainbow. Made out of 116 panels of glass in 42 colours, the 150-metre circular walkway provides a panoramic view over the city.
Your senses are much more than just the eyes. The eyes support and they help other senses, but we should also hear the space, we should also see with our skin, we should see with our body. And in that way, the rainbow, I think, is liberating, but obviously also the rainbow is also a stigma that somehow it represents everything. But the truth is, we don't live in concepts, I think. We have to live with actions. If we don't do anything, we cannot change anything.
The rainbow cost nearly €8 million and marks the final stage of building work on the museum.
It fit the building perfectly, and this circle symbolizes eternity, symbolizes heaven, and the square of the building symbolizes earth and the very static element. So this combination is, I think, in itself very genius.
The museum building opened in 2004. Its design derives from Dante's Divine Comedy.
The stairway behind me is just like a human spiral, and it's a connection between hell and heaven. You know, Dante described he's walking up the Purification Mountain, and this is your walk up here towards heaven.
In the basement, the 9 rooms. In Dante's poem, this level symbolizes hell. Along with a variety of video installations and works by other renowned artists, one of the 9 rooms is home to a 2003 installation by Eliasson called Surroundings.
being in the basement is clearly quite funny, as I'm also on the roof. And my little work here in the basement also plays with mirror in a way that it seemingly suggests that there is another basement even further down, which might not be accessible physically, at least.
One floor higher is a sculpture by Australian artist Ron Mook titled Boy. One of the best-known works in the collection. And continuing upwards, there are more temporary exhibitions of Danish art from the past 2 centuries. But the main attraction is at the very top. Your Rainbow Panorama. The word "your" is a meaningful part of the name.
Your Rainbow Panorama, to some extent, indicates that there is an element of a subject as well, that your individual way of using it makes it unique to you.
A rainbow that's always illuminated, even at night.
Furniture, ideally, should be comfortable, and if you're going to flop down into an armchair, you do expect it to be soft and somewhat flexible. But an innovative design festival here in Berlin allows designers to play with some of those assumptions. Paulsberg is a young company from Dresden in the eastern German state of Saxony with a very different vision of furniture, and it's one that takes a softer approach to a hardline material.
Concrete in concrete. The armchair Sport is made out of the same material as its environment, but it is somehow quite different. This table is also made of concrete. It's called Fruit. And this is Paulsberg. The young designers from Dresden have known each other since school. They've been working on their concrete furniture now for over a year.
Concrete is an unbelievably versatile material, which is actually more than 2,000 years old. It offers endless new variations. There are always great things you can do with it, and it's just totally malleable.
Concrete lost its bad reputation a long time ago. These days, it's a popular material in modern design. But as varied as the design is, one thing hasn't changed. Concrete furniture is mostly chunky and heavy. Paulsberg could take the trend in a new direction. Their furniture is more delicate and it's also much lighter.
Most of the customers first ask whether it's really concrete. They just can't imagine that it is. Some of them think it's plastic, others metal. That's because we work with such delicate and organic forms, which wasn't possible before in concrete.
The secret of Paulsberg's furniture is this new composite. The carbon textile, developed by the Technical University of Dresden, serves to stabilize the concrete. That offers advantages over the classic alternative, steel.
You can see the advantage over steel with this little sample here. You can see quite clearly how the carbon is placed in the middle of the concrete matrix. Steel rusts, and to prevent it from rusting, you have to stop air getting to the steel, air and water. That's why you've always had to have a 3 to 4 centimeter thick layer. And when you scale that up, you've got at least 8 to 9 centimeters of material in the end. With us, it's different. Carbon doesn't rust. Nothing can happen to it. So we only need a minimum of 2 millimeters of covering.
Paulsberg has the exclusive rights for making furniture with the new composite for 2 years. It's all handmade, almost like baking a cake. First, the mold for the furniture has to be made. Then the concrete, a mixture of cement, aggregate, and water, is applied thinly. After that comes the carbon textile and a further layer of concrete. The furniture then has to cure for 3 days. The finished table by Paulsberg will cost €2,400.
If you tell people, potential customers, that it's handmade, and when they understand how the furniture is created, as well as the individual character of each piece, which is not possible with industrial production, when they understand that, the price actually becomes immaterial.
Ist der Preis dann eigentlich auch nebensächlich.
The Paulsberg designers can't afford to buy their own furniture yet. Right now, they have to put everything they have into building up their company, attracting the attention of customers, retailers, and the press. The DMY International Design Festival in Berlin is a good opportunity. The young businessmen have 5 days to showcase their furniture. The DMY is also a good chance to get feedback from experienced designers, like Werner Eislinger. He's one of Germany's most famous designers and a member of the festival jury.
The chair is very comfortable. I also think it looks very comfortable. Of course, concrete is a hard material, so you're not going to expect it to be fluffier than an upholstered sofa. But because the ergonomics and the shape are very rounded and soft, I'm actually sitting very comfortably here.
The Paulsberg company has a chance to get its innovative design into the living rooms of the world.
Well, as a young fashion designer, it's equally, if not more, difficult to get an edge on the competition. And so a major award can certainly make all the difference. Just last month, the renowned International Festival for Fashion and Photography in Hyères in southern France gave out its laurels, and that has put 2 young Parisian designers in the spotlight.
For now, Léa Pécresse and Céline Mattei can still walk through the streets of Paris unnoticed. But that could change. In early May, these 2 young designers won the top awards for up-and-coming talent at the Hyères Festival. Mattei took home the Audience Award, and Pécresse claimed first prize.
I absolutely didn't expect it. I had almost forgotten that it was a competition. I saw the festival as more of an event.
Céline was granted 15,000 euros. Léa's prize was worth 10,000. Now more than ever, the 2 young designers are sought-after talents in the fashion world.
Before Hyères, no one had heard of us. Now that's changed.
As the big winner of the competition, Pécresse won over the jury with a collection titled "Cemeteries Are Fields of Flowers." She wowed the judges with elaborately embroidered items in couture style. Fashion journalist Jean-Paul Cauvin was in the audience during the show.
Léa Pécresse created an interesting interpretation of Gothic style. Her collection was about cemeteries, but she succeeded in making sure this medieval look was anything but drab.
Céline Mattei showed an all-white collection. All of her clothes were made with simple fabric that's normally only used for trial designs. The look was topped off with a bit of lace.
This is a material that anyone in the fashion scene has worked with, but this white fabric isn't used to make clothes that are actually worn. I thought, why not? And so for the first time, I'm presenting an entire collection made with that alone.
The 32-year-old designer creates fashions for her own label in a studio in a Paris suburb. She's learned from the best in the industry. After completing her studies, she worked for the late designer Alexander McQueen, as well as for John Galliano. The sheer detail incorporated into her designs sets them apart. Her collection won her a spot on the front page of the biggest daily on the Côte d'Azur.
C'est impressionnant.
Léa Pécresse makes her designs at home during the evening or weekends. That's because the 26-year-old works full-time for French designer Isabelle Marant.
Certainly, you get more confident when you get so much positive feedback. First from the public, then the fashion houses that everyone wants to know. And finally from the press. The reaction from the press was just overwhelming.
Hekla has already gotten job offers from a number of companies. But she has her eye on one place in particular.
In an interview, I said that I'd like to be the new designer for the house Pierre Cardin. The brand is for sale. And I just read in a newspaper article, why not have Léa Pecre as the successor to Pierre Cardin? That was a really strange feeling, because I've thought about it a lot, and it's always been a dream of mine.
Her colleague Céline Mattei has been very busy. As part of her award, she'll be traveling to the world's largest fabric convention in New York with event organizer Première Vision in July. And a few months later, she'll make an appearance at the Paris show with her own label.
For us, it's about supporting Céline after the festival with her future collections and helping her to continue to develop.
Léa Pecre and Céline Mattei have shown that they're among the best of their generation. And now they have to see it as a chance to further their careers.
Both designers seem to have succeeded on that front, and there's a good chance they'll someday become major players in the fashion world.
Speaking of major players, the internet has changed the rules of media stardom and created many of its own celebrities. 21-year-old Sami Slimani from Düsseldorf, for example, is one of the latest of this new breed. Slimani rose to blogger fame thanks to his own initial interest in facial products, and now he's a widely respected online tester of anything and everything, and one who certainly speaks his mind.
So, hallo Leute, freut mich, dass ihr wieder eingeschaltet habt.
He goes by the internet alias Herr Tutorial or Mr. Tutorial. From face masks to toothpaste or the newest apps for smartphones, 21-year-old Sami Slimani puts all of them to the test.
It's funny to see myself on tape, how I move and what I say. But ultimately, I'm talking to my viewers. They like it, and it's great to get positive feedback. If you believe in it, nothing's embarrassing. And if my viewers like it, so do I.
Sami films his videos at home. It's an easy 3-step process. Turn on the camera, try out the product, and voice an opinion.
It's much better. Your skin just seems a lot firmer and more clear of what before were large pores.
Sami Slimani describes himself as an all-in-one guru, someone who will test anything. He started posting his videos online 2 years ago and experienced sudden success.
I was stunned by what happened. I had 500 new subscribers overnight and 3,000 by the end of the day. YouTube liked it and put me on their cover page. It all happened really fast. You upload a video and then you get a ton of clicks by the next day. That's what happened to me.
YouTube asked Sami to join its partner program, meaning he earns a share of the website's ad revenue, but he won't reveal how much. Sasha Martini is an expert in digital marketing and product testing blogs. He says Sami is one of a kind in Europe.
I think that's why Sami Slimani is special, because his authentic approach has struck a chord with viewers, and he's turned it into a mass phenomenon. He's become his own brand to a certain extent.
Sami's videos have been so successful that big-name companies are starting to take notice. They send him products from eye creams to gaming consoles. And Sami tests them and rates them. But he says that doesn't influence his point of view.
Zu dem Thema kann ich nur sagen, dass ich für kein Geld der Welt.
No amount of money could buy my opinion. That's part of what's made me so successful and well known. You're not always expressing positive opinions about a product because it was sent to you. Your feedback would suffer. My viewers trust what I say and whether I like a product, because a lot of people allow themselves to be influenced.
Sammy's videos get up to 2 million clicks a month and counting.
Anyone who shopped online knows that other people's opinions are more important than recommendations in an ad or an article you read. In the end, nothing is more trustworthy than another person's recommendation, ideally someone you know.
And many viewers do feel as if they know Sammy. They think of him as someone who tests products for them. But in the meantime, he's not just an online celebrity.
It's no longer the case that I can go out without being recognized. You'll hear a group of girls screaming, or viewers ask me for an autograph or to have a photo taken with me. Things have really changed.
Sami Slimani's test videos are just the beginning. He's currently working on a t-shirt collection, and he's also started studying advertising. What else?
And finally, we're off to Venice, where the Art Biennale is now underway. The official program is presented in 30 national pavilions, but a number of less established artists use the opportunity to attract attention with independent shows. Well, one of those is German designer Wolfgang Joop, who's much better known for his fashion designs, but he's chosen the Italian city on the lagoon to present some of his recent artworks.
The Palazzo Bempo is right by the Rialto Bridge on the Grand Canal, one of the most beautiful parts of Venice. This is the backdrop for Wolfgang Joop's latest exhibition, Eternal Love.
I was so touched by the timelessness and the very Venetian attitude of the whole thing. It was as though the whole environment, what was on display here, was already here. As though it didn't arrive with me, but had somehow been waiting for me. Quite strange.
The exhibition deals with the eternal and the temporal, the divine and the earthly. His marble angels have human faces and clipped wings. Facing them are lightweight fabrics embroidered with cherry blossoms and skulls. It's an idealized world that is clearly flawed.
To be frank, I'm surprised by my own work because it portrays a slowing down feeling. The opposite of what I've done for a living and how I earned my money. The fast, the accelerated world of fashion, which is amoral, that isn't there to provoke deep thought. But here I've done things that can provoke a lot of thought and provide very complex answers.
Joop plays with contrasts. He draws his observers with shiny silver embroideries that border on kitsch, only to then shock them. His heroes of love are monkeys. For him, they embody pure, natural love, quite different from what he has often experienced in the world of fashion. He particularly likes the marble busts of a female monkey with a golden bridal tiara. They were only completed just before the Biennale.
For us humans, a monkey's love would seem very unintellectual, a love that is not cognitive, but simply spontaneous and slightly exaggerated. But it is precisely this kind of love that I find so enchanting.
Joop provides the script for a love story featuring a fashion-crazed monkey who falls madly in love with a fashion designer from Paris, for whom she gives up her monkey bridegroom. But her love is unrequited. Wolfgang Joop once studied art, but has only rediscovered his love of painting and sculpture in recent years.
I was really surprised by how profound it is. At first, everything just looks very beautiful, so he fulfills that. But that's just like the appetizer. Then you get past that and notice that there is something enigmatic about it, which in turn poses questions to the observer. We're constantly being asked to play the opposite side.
Having an exhibition during the Venice Biennale is the fulfillment of a dream for Joop.
Just to be here makes me somehow happy and depressed at the same time, because it's like a highlight, which at the moment you achieve it can no longer be exceeded.
The
world's leading art collectors, critics, and museum directors are in Venice right now. For a short while, Wolgang Joop can capture their attention before they move on to their next appointment. The Biennale is an art marathon that has only just begun.
And on that romantic note, it is time for us to say goodbye. So until we meet again, all the best from us here in Berlin. Thanks for watching and arrivederci.